Hi friends, this is Bijou Baker. I'm Maria. Today we're going to make birria tacos. Birria is actually, it's like a soup, okay? Starting off with just a soup. So if you're looking for just a good beef soup, this is it. But then I'm going to take that incredibly tender beef and tear it up and put it into tacos and use the soup as a consome, a dip, soup, broth, kind of whatever. You've seen these all over the internet and on social media and such. Let me start off by giving a huge shout out to a page on Facebook. It's called Grub and Chill. Here's the logo. Check it out. Look for them on Facebook. Join it. Tell them I said hi. And you guys, this group is all about food. Foodies from all sorts of the world pitch in and give their advice and their expertise and just collaborate in such great ways, and it is so encouraging and uplifting, and it's just a really nice place to sit and chill and visit with these people. And the moderators are actually very careful not to let just anybody abuse the airways, so to speak. So if people are being rude or crude or socially unacceptable, they're not standing for that. So it's a really comfort zone. So and you have experts to people who just cracked their egg for the first time, and all the walks in between. So I really encourage you to check out that page. They're essentially based out of Seattle, I think, and so that apparently that is the food central of the world. Man, those restaurants, and they're always posting, their dinners and, when they go out to eat. This is one of the biggest posts from that group. And I'm thinking, there's nothing here that I know of in Arizona. So I see these posts and I just immediately start to drool. So I'm making it myself. It's easier than it might think, but with all Mexican cooking, there are a lot of layers. So if you're okay with the layers, this is going to be well worth the effort. So starting off, here's just the list of ingredients for the soup itself, for the birria. I also put in hominy. That's just my favorite, and my family loves hominy, so why would I not use it? I just forgot to put it in the picture, but hominy. Okay, first thing we're going to do is I cut the beef into, what do I have? Not quite 5 pounds, only because that's how I got 2 different packages with various 2 3/4 and 2 and whatever, but about 5 pounds. And I cut them into big pieces, like in half or thirds. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to sear it. I'm going to get a good sear on that on both sides, and then go from there. Come on, let's just go play. You don't need to hear. You want to watch. I lied. Through my teeth, I lied. The very first thing I have to do is prepare the chilies. So I'm going to separate my New Mexico chili. Now, New Mexico chili is not as hot as Guajillo chili. So I'm only going to use, I think I have 4 or 5, I don't remember, 4 Guajillo chilies, and then a whole pack of New Mexico chili mild. I'm that Mexican that doesn't like heat. I don't like spicy. I love flavor. So I'm going to get flavor, and the heat we'll save for later, okay? And you can add heat later, but it's really hard to take heat out. So you're going to separate the chilies, and then we're going to roast them, because again, flavor layering. So here's how I did that. Okay, so I've got a big cast iron pot I've got going here. I'm gonna put in some oil. I want a good amount because I want that, and I want that oil to get hot. I have it on high. You can see when the oil starts kind of like moving around and just kind of like splotting. It's getting, I don't mean splotting, I mean like blotching in spots. It's getting hot. You want this baby hot. Another thing, so these are the pieces of meat that I cut in quarters or half or whatever. And you're going to pat them dry because the water will make it splatter. It's still going to splatter, mind you, but you want a dry piece of meat when you sear. All right, this pan is talking to me. So I'm going to put in a couple pieces at a time. I want to dry them. Oh yeah, that oven is, that's smoking pretty good. Okay, I don't want to cook it. I just want to give it that charred. I just want to char it. Okay, now I'm going to put my fire to a medium. Take these out. So you've got these beautiful golden crust on the meat. That's perfect. So my fire is lower. I'm going to add my mirepoix, which is carrots, onions, and celery. All right, so I'm going to put this on low. I want them to kind of weep. I want them to kind of relax and get soft, not quite translucent, but definitely tender. Okay, while that's kind of getting ready, cooking, I want to talk to you about one of the ingredients that I'm using, and it's called Better Than Bouillon. They have it in chicken, beef, a roasted garlic. It's a very intense bouillon, and it's a paste. So I'm probably going to get it wrong, but I think it's like for every tablespoon it makes a cup or something. It'll say on the package. But, so it's intense. Now, if you don't have it, that's okay. There's several ways you can add that bouillon flavor. So you can either use bouillon cubes. I would say about 5. I'm not adding salt to this recipe because there's a lot of salt in many of the other things I'm putting in. But in the end, if you feel you still need it, I would add it then. I don't think you're going to need it because the flavors just really work well. So you can either take some beef or chicken or vegetable broth and really reduce it, get rid of the water, and you've got that bouillon. You can use chicken bouillon powder. However, whatever you have, that's what you use. So don't be intimidated because I have it. You think you have to have that also. You don't. This is a thumbnail, an idea of how to make your own. So do it your way. Okay, now I'm going to add the garlic. because I don't want the garlic to burn. Garlic does burn, and when garlic burns, it's nasty. So about halfway through, I added the garlic, so which means I still have another, I don't know, let's say 5 minutes of sauteing. Okay, so I picked up the heat just a little bit because I'm really going to drop it down when I add water. And I'm going to add probably that much. How much is that? I don't know. Your pot is obviously going to be dependent on how much water you use. That's a pretty good amount of water. What is this pitcher? This is a gallon. So I used about a gallon of water. Now I'm going to take all these beautiful peppers that we just peeled and roasted, and they go in. These are the New Mexico chilies and the Guayo chilies. And this is where some of the magic is going to kick in, because the boiling is going to soften these perfectly, pull out a lot of flavor. You're going to see the water is going to be red. All right, so boil these for about, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. You'll see when you pick them up and they just kind of flop. All right, so we'll just boil. All right, so we got a pretty good looking boil going on here. I'm going to turn off the heat, and I'm going to transfer all of this into the blender and whip it up. You can see how flexible they are now. They're really soft. That's what you want. They were really crunchy when I first put them in. Okay, so I started this. I'm just going to take just handfuls. Well, not handfuls, but as much as I can. Carrots and everything. And the unhappy dog. And I'm also going to take some of the broth, because it's going to help the motor in the mixer not go nuts. All right. Okay, so you can see how thick it is. I don't want it that thick just yet. It's okay, I mean, if it is. I just don't want it to be that thick. So I'm going to add more water and more goody bits. And I'm just going to keep doing this until it's all gone. Okay, and to make room for more, I'm just going to pour this into a bowl. Okay, so I'm turning the fire back on to a medium high, and you can see that's all the water that's left. I used a bit of it, of course, inside the blender, but this right here, what's left, is really intense flavor. So I'm going to take this paste, this Better Than Bouillon beef paste, and I'm going to put it in here and whisk it around. you can feel, when you're whisking around, you can feel when it's dissolved. All right, that was the hardest part. All of that was the hardest part, the most work. Now, the water does the rest. Okay, so with this there, I'm going to pour the chili in the pot. I don't want it to splatter. This is hot. This is hot. I may have to rethink that. And we're going to put the beef back into the water. Look at that. That, believe it or not, that's just heaven right there. And then I'm going to add the beef bone. The reason I'm putting the bone in is because I want the marrow. That's where the flavor is. That's what I want. I just used all of them. I mean, what am I going to do with the leftover bone, right? The last thing is I'm going to lay, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bay leaves. I'm going to lay them right on top and cover this. This is going to be cooking for about 4 or 5 hours on low. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to tell you is I took out the bay leaves. I got the use out of them, and I went and I skimmed the top with all the impurities and all the yuckiness, like some of this, but there was a lot of it. So I'll do that a couple times as I need to. I can already see that the meat is getting pretty tender. I'm still going to continue low and slow. Beautiful. So this consomme is a lot different than the kind you'd get at the store. When you bake for your family, when you cook for your family, you cook what your family's going to eat. My family is so picky. They will avoid chunks of onion or celery or carrots, the things that I love the most. So it's in there, it's just kind of hidden. But if you're looking for that, then you didn't, if that's what you want in yours, which is really the way it's supposed to go, then when it comes to the blender part, don't blend those, just blend the chilies and leave those delicious vegetables in there ready to eat by the mouthful. But I know my family and I'm cooking for my family. That's the only reason it's different. But the hominy, that's staying whole. I'm not gonna mess around with that one. Okay, so let me catch you up to what I've done. This meat is ready. This pot is terrible, right? This meat is just fall off the, look at that. Perfect, that's perfect. So about an hour ago, I took the meat out and I strained this broth. I want a clear broth. So I strained the broth from all the bits and pieces of the chili flakes that did not get blended. Because I was tasting it and I just would, you know, get a little bit on my mouth, and that's not what I want in here. So I'm going to take out all this meat, shred it with 2 forks, and I have already taken out the bones. Come on over. I think you still have time. This is nuts, right? Look at how perfect and... Wow, that was lucky. Okay, so once this is shredded, I'm going to put in the hominy. Let that cook a little bit. And then I'll put some back into the pot, and the rest is just going to go inside the tacos. You with me? Okay. Okay, so the hominy. And I'm going to put the whole can because we like it. That's a good excuse, right? The heat is still going. I've had it going for about 5 to 6 hours. Low, on the lowest heat for a long time. Okay, and I'm just gonna shred. This stuff is just falling apart. This is exactly what I wanted. Another thing, I did a lot of stuff off camera, and I apologize for that, but I wasn't thinking. I was just in a go mode. I had put in cumin, about 2 tablespoons of cumin, or cumin, however you want to pronounce it, and garlic powder, or garlic salt. That's the only salt I put in here. I mixed it around, tasted it. I needed to add a little bit of table salt, so that's what I did. So I did put salt in here, even though I said I wasn't going to, but I have no problem. I have no problem with that. Is that impressive or what? I think I can just mix it around and it's gonna shred. I was joking, but it is. Wow. Okay, so if you weren't gonna make tacos, and you can just put this back into the caldo and just have a really good hearty beef stew. It's 100 degrees out today, so we're not looking for a hearty soup. But I am looking to dip these tacos into that good juice. That's it. All right, I'll put a little bit back, but not a lot. Yeah, I'm really not going to put a lot because I have a lot of tacos to make. So this is good. I'm going to wrap this up, get it nice and warm, and get the other ingredients ready for taco build. Okay, so it's time to assemble this deliciousness. I'll tell you right now, because we're in the backyard playing with the dog right here, so life continues, right? There you go. Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to tell you that I put on my tacos that are... We all have that one thing that we look for. This is it, twice. I haven't made a video yet, but I make my own crema. It is so easy. I can tell you here, or I can do a video to show you how to do it. It's just 2 parts buttermilk, 1 part heavy cream, and then you loosely cover it, leave it out overnight. That's the entire video. I'll do it if you need me to. And then it's sour cream. It's essentially sour cream. Let me show you what it looks like when I dig into it. Okay, can you see it good enough? That's it. It's creamy. It's thick. It's quite beautiful. Now, can you see that? That's it. You have to make sure it's cultured buttermilk. That's the whole trick to this thing. And you can see on the very bottom there's a little bit of whey. So just mix it in, and of course that'll make it a little thinner, not a lot, but that's where you're gonna get the drizzle that you can get if you want to drizzle your crema. It's gonna make it a little thinner. But if you don't want that part, just use the top part for sour cream, dips, salad dressings, and whatnot. So that's one thing that I add. The second thing is I made this honey chili. Okay, I make a honey chili, which is quite literally 2 parts honey to 1 part chili sauce, whatever you like. I happen to like Cholula, so I use 1 5-ounce bottle of Cholula and then 10 ounces of honey. And that still has a little bit of a kick, so if you don't want that much kick, use more honey. If you don't want it that sweet, use less honey. You get the idea, and that's all there is to that. So I put that sweet, delicious honey chili into the crema and put it in a squeeze bottle and just roll this right on top of the tacos. And this stuff is, it was full. It was full. Now it's down to here. I need to make more. But those are the 2 things that I add on to my tacos. So it's time to play. One more thing. Ordinarily, my day got ahead of me. I lost my day. I would make a homemade. You're crooked. Am I crooked? Well, hello there. A homemade chili oil, and that's just adding chili, New Mexico chili powder, seasons and stuff into chili, into oil, and just kind of heat that up a little bit, really slow. I didn't do that, though you can, but they do have chili oil at the store. So that's what I'm just gonna dip a little bit of the tortilla in that and let it get a good sizzle and a crust and that beautiful orange color on it, just so you know. So I have my chili oil in a pan, and I'm just gonna heat it up on top of the comal here, just to help it, like, the transition not to be so shocking. So I've cut I've cut some chopped onions. My store is out of cilantro. What the heck? I want to make these tacos and I'm out of cilantro. I don't know. I'm not happy about it, but that's okay. So I chopped up some cabbage. Cabbage is a phenomenal crunch inside a taco. And some lime, just to squeeze on. Along with those drizzles, I think we're good to go. Okay, so the comal is nice and hot. And you can use any kind of melting cheese that you like. I happen to like mozzarella, mostly because of the way it melts. So in goes tortilla, right onto the griddle, and it's not hot enough. That's okay, because I could do 2 of them this way then. And this is a garlic chili oil. I'm not going to complain about that. So I'm going to put chili or cheese around the whole thing. However much taco meat you want. You don't want to overload it because you want to be able to close it, you know. Onion. Here's where you would put cilantro. And fold it over. You want to let it get crispy. you're doing this, especially when you're feeding a family, it's really go, 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 go. Okay, so we have our consomme here, and it has the hominy and chunks of carne. Oh, that right there. On a hot day, this is just perfect. But for this, dipping your tacos in there, I'm going to put some cabbage. I love cabbage. I'm going to put onions, and I would put cilantro if I had it. I don't, so I'm not going to cry about it. And my tacos. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lime juice, just kind of all over. And it's time to dig in. I'm telling you, come on over. I've got plenty. So I don't know where to start. This is hot, hot, hot. So I don't want to eat it too soon. It tastes like Mexico. And these babies, well, this one is just, if you use the homemade chili oil, you're going to get a more red taco. Do I look like I'm complaining? I'm going to say no. Oh, it's hot. That was cheesy. Oh man. There are a lot of flavors there. I have to tell you, one of the reasons I don't like beef, because it's always so tough. This is not tough. This melted my mouth. So I'm very happy about that. Okay. I can see why Seattle brags about their birria tacos. Mine, I know they don't compare to theirs, but I won't shake these things off. Okay, this video was kind of all over the place, and I apologize for that, but I hope you got the gist of what I was doing. Send me 1,000 emails and 1,000 questions. I'll answer as many as I can get to. But if you want to try this and I missed something, please try this. Sorry, not sorry. It's so good. Okay, I'm gonna go eat. Until next time, my friends. Oh, don't forget to check out Grub and Chill. Tell Dano Maria said hi. The Bijou Baker sent you. That and $5 will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Okay, my friends, until next time, happy baking.
Ah, that was fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.